What's up, my people? Welcome to another beautiful Saturday again. I might be Douglas, and today I'm going to be showing you how I was able to create this birthday poster. By the way, if you are new to this channel, you are highly welcome. The main aim of this channel is for me to share my knowledge as a creative as I continually progress. So, whatever it is I learn, I will always share it. There's no gatekeeping in this house. So, today I'm going to be sharing with you how I was able to create this birthday poster. By the way, if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, do well to hit the subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell so you'll be among the first people to be updated when a new video drops. All right, without further ado, let's just get straight to it. All right, so this design was inspired by a very creative birthday poster done by Nana Multimedia. I've spoken about him severally in my previous videos. Do well to check out Nana Multimedia on YouTube and Instagram. Fantastic, amazing designer. All right, so I'm just going to turn off my second artboard here, and we are going to start with this one. Turn on my Kiwis, and we're going to start with this guy. Okay, so I'm going to turn off everything here completely, and yeah, let's go. So I have my white background here, and then the next thing I added was like a newspaper texture effect. I'm going to unlock it. I've spoken about how I always blend my effects or maybe patterns or these things on my backgrounds. I always make sure I convert them to black and white. So let me put this back. So this is how the newspaper is, right? So converted it to black and white, and then I used the pin light effect and then reduced my opacity to 4%. So that's how I got this. Okay. Next thing I did here was to add this. So this was actually gotten from the image itself. I've done previous videos on where I was able to apply this particular effect. Very simple. Watch my previous videos to know how this was done. So let me just reduce this so you could see. So this is like an effect from the actual image itself. Okay, so let's just go back to it. What I just did there was I gave it the gradient color, right? I gave it a gradient color. This color was gotten from the image itself. So I just picked the two colors from the image and then I added this gradient overlay on it. If I open this, I'd already converted it to like an image after I was done adding all the color overlays and everything, but you get to see the image as we progress. Next thing I added here was the image itself, but I just used my brush to remove this. So let me disable this. This is still part of the background, mind you. If I disable this, yeah, so this is the image. If you could just put the normal mode. And I know I must have converted this to, okay, this was clip marks, so I'm going to remove this from here. Double click, remove black and white. In fact, let me just turn off the filters entirely so you could see the actual stuff we're dealing with. We'll come back to normal here and increase the opacity to 100. So yeah, this is the image. Yeah, this is the image. Now the full gist with this. So this is the image. I'm just going to reduce it so you can see everything. So you could actually now see where I got that effect from. So this is the image. This is where I picked the green colors from. The green colors, picked the light and also a darker shade of that green. So that's why I did everything. So I was done with that. I'm going to click no. and that's how I also arrived at this. So just did that, and activated my layer mask, and then now used my brush tool to brush off this area. So if I just press white, you see me bringing back this entire stuff back, and if I press X again, which is switches to black, you see me also removing off these areas. Okay, so yeah, that was how I achieved that. So the next thing I now added was this image, which I clip maxed into this section here. Just gonna remove this. If I remove this, it's just occupy. So just did this. Added some very crazy effects, yeah, to achieve this kind of thing. Added a wave and I added a noise. If you want to go to wave, if you want to add the wave effect, you just come here, come to this dot, click on wave, and then you can just play around with these settings, right? Play around with these settings, choose any of this stuff you want here. Don't fixate yourself to exactly what I did, just try out different things, right? And click OK, and that was how I did that. Now I'm just going to undo. I did that, and then I also added this, like my noise effect here, but I don't know, it's giving me some little changes. Let me just undo back to what it is. Yeah, so don't worry, these elements, both the background, the pattern, and the fonts that are going to be used in this video will be added into the resources folder. So do well to check the description below to access the resources folder. It's a Google Drive. Everything that has been used on this design except the image, right, will be on that folder. So do well to check it out, and then you could try it. Okay, so added this font. The name of my pastor, the name of this font is Inner City, and don't worry yourself, you'll have that also in the Google Drive. And then I added like a script font to this. Now I used orange because I needed a brighter color that will be a perfect color color contrast or combination contrast to the green color, right? So you know the green color is kind of dull, right? So I needed a color that would complement it. I could have used yellow, right? Yellow would also go well, but yellow would have also gone well, but I decided to use orange too. Yeah, so very good complementary color, or very good color that, you know, has a good contrast with the green background. With the green background. So that's why I chose that orange color. Name of the font here is Orthographia, still be in the Google Drive link, the resources link. And then I added son name Wilson. Now I gave that space. The reason why I gave that space was because of the image that's going to be at the center here, right? So that's why I gave the space for this. Okay, so still used the this font, Orthographia for Pastor, just added it there. So you could see I just broke it. I just made it interesting. I didn't want to make it look write everything on one line, all this kind of thing. So yeah, so did that, and then happy birthday. Now I achieved this happy birthday. First thing I did, or what I did in the first place, was I wrote my happy birthday text, right? Font I used was Lexend. That was also the same font I used for this one here, Wilson. Didn't mention that before. That was the same font I used here for Wilson. Okay, so I went up. So I just did happy birthday, and then I just duplicated that particular duplicated that layer, and then I activated my motion blur tool. So if you want to go to your motion blur, simply just go to filter here, go to blur, motion blur, right? And there's a shortcut attached to it. So any direction you want, it gives you a display. Yeah, it gives you a display. You want to turn this other way around, it's going to show you. So any direction you want, you just do it. And make sure your preview is toggled on so you could actually see what is being changed. So that was what I did there, and it makes it gave it that kind of effect. Okay. Then I added my date, that's the birthday. Same font is Lexend, but used like a bolder version. Then I used the two green colors, like I said, I picked from the image. This one that you're seeing here, and then I picked like a darker one just to easily identify the date, and yeah, just did that. Then I added my image. So this is the original image. This is the main thing you guys have been waiting to see. So this is the image from every other, like the image of both this and everything. You know, I've shown this image before, so I'm not going to waste so much time. So this is the image. Just touched it a little bit with Camera Raw. If I remove this, this is how the image is. And then I added my Camera Raw effect to just give it make some things very crispy and all. Okay, next thing I used the same script font to write. This is orthographia. I wrote there Pastor We Get Swag, so just wrote it there. Other part here, I think I used the same orthographia. That's why I wrote this. Use the overlay effect, reduce the transparency to 67, or the opacity, sorry, to 67. So this is how it is normally. Okay, this is how the font is normally. So I just used a different blend mode and all that just to give it that effect as well. And then my right top, right? This is my right top. Still the same Lexend font. So just zoom in. I wanted to add a drop shadow, but I was like, okay, no need. Let me just remove it. Okay, so just made sure that this was all aligned to the left-hand side and all those things. Okay, so that's it for the text box. Next thing I added these lines. So I've used these lines in one of my designs before, and I thought to actually bring it back. It's a style or a pattern, if you want to call that, but it just also shows like the list of colors that were used in the design. So you could see orange here, which is what we used. You see the dark green here. Let me zoom out. Sorry, guys. Which is here and in some other places. So I just duplicated that effect or that pattern. Sorry. These are just boxes, right? Let me just open one. So these are just boxes, yeah. These are just boxes. Used my rectangle tool. So you just come here. Click this. Sorry. This is your rectangle tool, and this is how I was able to draw these boxes. So each one just duplicated it, and then I just gave it those colors, and then I grouped everything together and then converted it to a smart object. So that's how I arrived at it. So yeah, that's how it was done. And then I now added my logo. Now this place where I added online pastor like no other, that's like the last part on the poster. Just added it there to finish it up, and then I converted everything to one image. Shift Control E, converted everything to one image, and then converted to a smart object. So after I converted it to a smart object, the usual thing I always do, like finishing touches of the design, just went to my Camera Raw and then finished everything, and this was how we arrived at this. Yeah. And so the second artboard was just still the same thing, but just a different color combination. And how I was able to do that is just with my hue and saturation, or you could even use Camera Raw. I think this time I used the Camera Raw effect. If I remove this should be giving me the green effect. So let's go to the Camera Raw section and let me show you guys how we did it. Okay, so let's go straight to Camera Raw. All right, so we are here, and I will just go straight to my color mixer. Yeah, I'm in my color mixer, and I'm just going to go to the greens because this is where most of this stuff is, where I want to change. Come to yellow because we know that this is not also completely green, so we place some parts here, so you could see majorly the yellowish part of the green, so that's actually where the change is. So basically yellow is not green, so just come here. This is where I even made everything, so you could see how I'm changing the color and it's not affecting every other part. Anything that has that greenish color, that is what is changing, right? If you could see on the design, everything that has the greenish color, even on the dress as well, that is what is changing. So you could see the different colors that are changing there. So when you come to this area, just make sure that you pick this. I could have also decided to, if I take this, let's undo. You could also come to point color if you want to like literally point the actual color, right? I could just come here and pick, and then you see that, but sometimes that also affects the image because of the color, depending on the color of the image, right? So you see that might also affect it because of something. So most times I always try to make sure I use my color mixer first. If I can achieve the color change on color mixer, there is no point going to point color. So that's just what I did there, and then I finished, and then I clicked on OK. Yeah, I'm going to dismiss these changes because there's no point doing that. I already have something there. So voila, that is it. If you also want to use your hue and saturation, let's turn off the camera raw. Let's try the hue and saturation mode. Go to Control U. We are going to select yellows. Let's select yellows. I think we're going to select yellows. If we select yellows, I think we should also be able to change this. But you could see everything that is having yellow, even this orange-like effect has a bit of yellow to it. So you could see how it is changing. And it's also in one way or the other affecting the yellow parts of the image as well. So this is something that you don't have to just fixate your mind on only one style of changing colors. Like I said, Photoshop has different ways of changing colors. I've shown in my previous videos how I changed some of my colors in my designs using hue and saturation. I've also shown today camera raw. So it's not, and they have different other methods. So don't just fixate yourself on it must be this, it must be this. Okay, so try out the one that works, see which one that works, and yeah, go for it. See, nothing green is changing because I think that thing is majorly yellow. If I decide to, let's undo everything. If I decide to, let's go back to master. If I decide to pick this, you see it's still going to pick because it's a yellow. So yeah, that's just everything. I'm not going to waste too much time on that, so it won't bore you guys. So yeah, we have gotten to the end of the video. This is a very brief one. So let me know what you think about this poster design in the comments. Don't forget to also like, and don't forget to share this video with a designer today. If you are still yet to watch my previous poster design breakdown series, do well to click, it should be showing on the screen, so do well to click the playlist on the screen to access them, or you could also check the description below to access the playlist as well. All right guys, thank you so much for your time, and before I leave your face, do well to hit that subscribe button and turn on the post notifications if you are yet to do that. All right guys, see you next Saturday, and enjoy your weekend, my people. Peace.